of Grease, and auditions are coming up. Ray and Ann are here with us once again. Hafide, thanks again.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the auditions in just a couple moments, but I want to talk about, for so many people, Ray, because so many people are familiar, especially on Guam, with only the film version of Grease. So you've got Olivia Newton-John, John Travolta, that whole classic cast from the 70s or early 80s, whenever the movie came out. God, that's how old I am. But for people that have only seen the film and not the stage version, are there any major plot differences?
Well, not plot differences. Well, one main thing is that the Frankie Valli song is not in the show. The Grease is the word. That song doesn't exist in the stage production.
Beauty School Dropout is in, though.
Beauty School Dropout's in there, and the rest of them are in there. They did. There were two songs they added. Sandy singing "Hopelessly Devoted to You." That's an addition that the movie made. And at the very end, they sang "You're the One That I Want," which replaces a reprise of "We Go Together." And we were able to purchase the rights for those two songs to bring them in, so that makes our production a little closer to the movie. But other than that, and the fact that Kinnicky gets to sing a song, and he gets Grease Lightning, and John Travolta, he got to sing everything, all the male lead songs are in the musical. But it's pretty similar besides that. So.
Okay, so for people that may be watching right now and people that are literally foaming at the mouth saying, I've always wanted to do this, or I'm an experienced thespian at the age of 12 right now, what are the age ranges of people that can participate in this production, and what kind of portfolio should they bring to the auditions, if any, and what kind of songs should they be working on? Do they have to have their own sheet music?
Really, all they need to do is show up for our audition dates, which will be August 25th, 26th, and 27th at the Southern High School Auditorium, and they'll be from 4 to 6. And we usually will teach them part of a song. Usually we'll teach all the boys a part of one of the songs that the men sing, and all of the girls one of the songs that one of the lead girls sings. And then that's their basically audition. They will use that piece as their audition piece. And then it's open to every high school student on island, whether you go to a private school, you're homeschooled, you go to Dodea schools, you go to public schools. Anyone who's a high school student can audition.
All right. I was going to say, does it behoove a castee if they come in and they actually prepare like a Grease song? Because there's a million different show tunes they could do and everything, but if they actually do something from the film or from the stage version, will that?
Well, what we do is, I think it's in order to kind of make it, I don't know if I want to say the word fair or consistent for everybody.
Normalize it.
Yeah, is that we teach them, but if they should become familiar with the songs in the show, either listen to the soundtrack or, because we will choose a couple of songs from the show to audition with. So if they can just sort of in general have an idea how the songs go, then they'd be one up on, somebody that comes in totally cold. So.
Well, we talked about some of the challenges of, working with certain cast members. What are some other challenges of maybe bringing, that mindset or teaching some of, the overall lessons that maybe, at face value a lot of people don't realize, but then when you actually go through and act out the parts and everything, it's like, wow, this person was going through some really heavy emotional stuff.
Right. I think that the students will discover when they start looking at the words and what they're saying, and then looking at the dialogue that they're having with other members on stage, they'll start to see these problems. I mean, you've got some problems and issues that I think they're timeless, like you said earlier. Bullying, Rizzo thinks she's pregnant and she has to resolve, that's a big, huge, impact on her life right then and there. And Sandy having to try to fit in and yet at the same time still be kind of herself. And then you have Danny, who is trying to come more toward the center so that he can fit in more. And you have, you have even issues of kind of gang rivalry. You have the Pink Ladies, and then you have, is it the Thunderbirds?
The T-Birds. Yeah.
The T-Birds.
Well, even I like how you brought that up about the character of Rizzo, because teen pregnancy is always going to be like a huge emotional and moral issue, for any generation. But especially back then in the 50s, like the character of Danny trying to be the tough guy among his peers, that was a really major theme, so much more than it is today. And Rizzo thinking that she might be pregnant, that was a huge deal back in that time period.
Yeah, and
Almost like Hester Prynne-ish, I want to say.
oh
Almost.
yeah, it was. You know, and you still were kind of marked after.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you were pregnant back then, and it's just, you know, I think that we always try to, with our students, point out those kinds of morals and those kinds of issues, because they're real for them too at this time of their lives. Mm-hmm. These are the very issues that they're dealing with on a daily basis. If not personally, they know someone, and so you always try to have them have some kind of an awareness. Hopefully they develop an awareness from the character they're playing and from doing a production that gives them a different way of looking at something than they did before they did the show.
Okay, well, we literally have 25 seconds left, so if I can get 10 seconds from each of you, what are the joys of working with Guam performers and teaching them, you know, how to act out parts on the stage?
Well, it's my favorite thing is that they come in, and a lot of them haven't experienced some of the emotions that we ask them to exhibit on stage or to come up with. And we try and use a emotional recall, but they're so young. So a lot of times we kind of have to guide them a little bit more, but it's really, the end product is really neat to watch them from the first day of rehearsal and then all of a sudden opening night and how far they've grown.
All right, how about you, Ann?
Mine's really easy and simple, and I say it over and over again. I love working with high school students because they don't know they can't do it.
Excellent. We
They
couldn't
do
have said
not
it any better than
know
that.
they cannot do it.
Beautifully said. Okay, so that once again, that's going to be the 25th, 26th, and 27th.
Yes.
All right, down at the Southern High Auditorium. Make sure that everybody out there that you auditioned for this play is going to be the experience of a lifetime. You're going to make some friendships that will last you the rest of your life, and you get to work with these wonderful people.
Thank you.
And learn a really, really cool play. All right, we're back.